Hello again everyone, and welcome to another tutorial in my series How to Draw Iconic Cartoon Characters. Before we start, of course, if you could subscribe, that would be fabulous. Thank you very much. And also, ring that little bell icon if you want to know what's coming up next. Okay, well, the cartoon characters today are Masha and the bear. Incredibly cute characters that are taking the world by storm. Now, what I'm going to do is start with the bear. And he has two great big circular ears. I'm just going to roughly put them in. They're very hairy, of course. But I'm going to draw just a rough kind of circular shape like that. One like that. And the top of his head comes in here again. That's very hairy, but I'll put that in later. And the other circle comes in like that. Okay? Now, the top of his head, as I said, hairy, comes across like that. Just below that, he has a kind of dark patch, a black patch, which actually acts as an eyebrow. Because you know, if you've drawn faces, eyebrows are great for creating expressions. Now, across here, we have the centre of the ear as well, which is a kind of loop shape, and another one here. Okay, and below that, you have the kind of division between the hair and the rest of the face. The face shape, if you like, come down here like that. And below that, you have the first eye, the nice big round eye, coming in there, and the pupil in the centre. Another one comes in about here, nice big circle, and this pupil kind of touches the edge about there. The centre, of course, we have the black part in the centre coming in there, and a highlight there and there. I'm putting all the shading in later. Okay, the outside edge of his head comes in like that, and the inside shape comes down to there. And just below his eyes, you have his nose shape, which comes in kind of straight along the top, and then it curves down like that. And just below that line, you have this great big nose shape, a bit like a guitar plectrum, you know, pointed at the bottom and flatter along the top, like that. And then, of course, you've got his lovely, adorable big grin, which comes up like that, okay? And his mouth comes in from just below that line there, comes in kind of straight along there, and comes up and joins that point. And there, you have his tongue just appearing there, but his teeth, his back row of teeth appear kind of coming in there, with one pointed tooth, and then kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, for another big pointed tooth coming in here, and then his other teeth there. Just the tip of an eye tooth there coming in. Okay, and his lip, again, kind of following that line straight along there, carving up, and then the outside edge of his face coming in, touching there to the lip there, and then curling around to his chin, coming in here, okay? And the back of his head carving like this. And this inside face shape goes down just about the edge of the eye here, and curves out almost like right around the kind of cheek, if you like, coming down like that to join this line up here. Now, the bear has his arms around cute little Masha, and her head will come in here. And just in line with that shoulder of the bear, imagine that line coming in here, that's where the eyes of Masha are. So you have, they're not totally circular like the bears, they're nice and big and curved at the top, like that, but the bottom is more a flat shape, like that. The other one comes in here, nice big curve of that flat shape there. And the pupil comes in there. Now the pupil, again, like the bears, touching the edge, like that. And the centre, the highlight at the bottom this time, down here. Okay, another little line coming up there. And a cute little nose, a bit of a shadow down the side here. It comes up. So you get that kind of upturned shape there to her nose, okay? Little nostrils coming in there and there. And a lovely, cute, wide-mouthed grin. She's up to all sorts of stuff. Masha, isn't she? The bear has to sort her out. Medved the bear. And then the bottom of her lip comes in, her bottom lip comes like this, a nice sharper curve along the bottom. See that? Very cute, with the bottom lip showing. And then a couple of little teeth, like that. And 3 little teeth along the bottom. There. And just her tongue showing like that. And a cute little chin, mirroring that shape there, which comes up to a nice wide cheek here. The side of her face is fairly close to her eye there, and then it bulges out into a nice curve like that. And then she has, of course, a fringe, which comes in right along the top of her forehead here, like that, with her hair hanging down like that. Top of her head is up there. And of course she has a little scarf over her head, which comes up to a point there, like that, and comes down the other side of her head, and is tied, of course, under her chin. A nice little curve there. It's a wee bit too much, so I'm going to stop it there, take a little bit of that edge off there, a little bit too wide. That stops about there. Okay, and the top of her scarf comes out in a curve behind her head there, and it's tied in a knot under her chin. And you get one part of the scarf come in here, the other one doubling like that, and her arms outstretched, spread out like that. Little bit of traditional pattern on her sleeve. And as well here. Put that in detail later. And a little hand outstretched with a thumb. Like that. Another one coming in there. Okay. And a double line here around the thickness of her scarf. And the pointed bit coming in there. And of course, the bear's protective, big, hairy arm, curved round Masha here. We have the rest of her body coming in here. The kind of pinafore dress, like that, with the strap over her shoulder coming around there. Okay, and then here's big, hairy mitt coming in here protectively around Masha there. Alright, so that's the rough shape. Oh, we've got the other side of the bear here coming in, the shoulder dropping down there. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is go around it again, but put in all the kind of hairy shapes. Okay, let's put the texture in now. The hair around the edge of the shapes that I've drawn in roughly before. So imagine the hair all kind of sticking up like that, all the way around that guideline you've drawn. Like that. Little tufts of hair all the way down. Like that. And then around here, there's actually a deeper part of inside of his ear coming in, which we'll shade in a bit later on. Same with this one here. It goes up right around the outside. With the inside rather, of his ear coming in over there. And this kind of dark eyebrow shape that I was talking about, coming in about there. The light part of his fur coming around here kind of goes up like that from the face shape, you know, this interior face shape here, springs out like that, all the way around, and then around his cheek, like that. And along the top of his head, imagine his hair springing up like that, so these lines will continue to go up like that along the top of his head and start to go this way. Okay, like that. And around here as well. So I'm going to continue doing that right around here, and right around here, and also right around his arm as well. I'll catch up with you when they're done that. Okay, as you can see, I've made the outline to the bear's shape nice and hairy. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is start to put in some of the darker shading. Okay, now both ears are quite dark, so I'm going to start with, well, I think I'll move to a 6B pencil. Okay, it's a wee bit darker. I've been using a 5B up till now. And around the edge here, what you do is work again on those hairy shapes like that. But as you come into the center of the ear, start to then use your pencil in a kind of circular motion like that to blend in the hairy shapes into the black of the ear, like that. Okay? All the way around, you know, like that. And then as you come in, blend in with the dark. Okay? So I want to do that with that here and that eyebrow. There's actually a bit of another eyebrow coming in about there. Okay? And this part down here is very dark as well, around Masha's arm, and there's a dark shadow there. Okay, as you can see, I've shaded in most of the dark areas, apart from the nose. I'm just finishing this off now. Just a solid mass of black on that plectrum shape. Okay. Come down to there. Okay, and what I want to do now is put a bit more detail in, for instance, the eyes. Now, what I do is just go over these lines a bit more and take off the actual circular shape and make it more almost like a square with rounded corners, like that. See that? Okay, it's not totally circular. It's kind of flat edges to it, like that. And then what we do is go down the outside of the pupil here, nice dark line. And the inside too, with the highlight there. Same with that one. With the center part there and the highlight there. And then take the weight off the pencil and just shade in the center part, the outside part rather, a little bit lighter, like that. Okay, and the same with Masha. I'm going to do exactly the same, go down the outside edge of her eyes like that, and do the insides, and also going to outline the outside shape of the eyes too. Okay, I've accentuated the eyes here. A couple of more spots on the nostrils. Now down to the mouth. This cute little grin. Now round the two little teeth there, carefully, and shade in quite dark down to the shape of the tongue, which appears in here. So that's quite dark in there. And then going up to the corner, like that, okay? And the tongue again is like in the middle tone, and you've got little tiny teeth just showing at the bottom there. Okay, and just go around the bottom lip again. And this side of a headscarf, which I forgot to put it initially, but it's back in there now. And then there's a nice kind of dark area around the cheek coming in there. And also at the top of her head, there, this area, this kind of triangular area at the top of her headscarf, that's very dark too. And then you take the weight off the pencil and shade the top of her head, that mid-tone, as you get the light catching the front of her head and the little fringe coming down and a curve like that. Okay, and you've got a bit of shading up this side of her head there. There's lots of mid-tones to put in yet, but I'll put that in towards the end. And just accentuating the shape of her headscarf now, coming around the side of her head, and there our chin, and then round there, like that, okay? And yeah, there's some dark spaces in here too. That's all very dark, like that in there. Coming right around. The tongue shape comes in like that, and then the darkness kind of catches it around about there. So I'll shade that in, and I'll see in a second. Right, I've shaded in the mid-tone of his tongue now. Makes the teeth stand out a bit more. Okay, move up to the top again, and put in the mid-tones of this part of his head here. And basically, again, just take the weight off your pencil. You can use your pencil to shade in the direction of the fur, like that. It leaves little white bits of paper, which is fine. It gives a much more textured quality, you know. As it comes down here, you can start to use a few more sketchy lines, like that. Shade that in around there. Okay, and what we're going to do now is put a wee bit more shape into the top of his head. Now that comes around there, and there's a line that comes up and kind of joins his cheek shape there. See that kind of cheek shape there? That's going to be catching the light. So we're going to get a little bit of shading under here, going up around the side of his nose there. So again, just take the weight off your pencil and shade around, nice and subtly like that, all the way around, and to the side there. A little bit of shading around here, and also up here. Okay, and that will continue around there, so I'll do in a second. Some of the mid-tones on Masha's face come in about here, around the side of her cute little nose. So you get that kind of shape of the shadow coming up, like that, up between her eyes there. Coming down there. See, that makes it stand out. And a little bit of shading underneath her cheek, a nice wee apple cheek there. Okay, and underneath this cheek as well. So a nice bit of shading there. Coming around this side of her face, coming down to her chin, like that. And a bit more shading up here, which of course will go up the side of her hair. As you imagine, the light's coming in from this side, so the other side will be darker. Same with this. I'm going to shade this in, fairly dark, but not as dark as the ears. And then I'll continue and shade in a middle tone around here and in here, and of course down here as well. Right, I've shaded in the middle tone, just in a sketchy way like that. And now moving on to Masha's little tunic here. Made her body a lot narrower, by the way. I had it out here at one point, but it's a lot narrower. So I brought that side in there. So then I can shade the middle tone of a little tunic here. And shade the scarf in a little wee bit darker, like that, okay? And some details on her wrist, like that. Traditional little pattern, like that. Okay, now what you can do now to finish it off, you could actually get your pencil and suggest little bits of hair and fur, just gently come around like that. It gives it a bit more texture, you know, especially around here. The fur will be going this way, so you can tickle away at it like that, by adding lots of little marks, furry marks, you know, to give the sensation of his fur, like that. And down here too, the fur will be going this way. And a bit more shading up here, I think. Let's see, yeah, a wee bit shading around his eye there. A bit there. Excellent, so I hope you enjoyed that. A wee bit shading out of here before I go, by the way. Just about here, under his lip. And up to there, that's right. And just finish off a few more lines. You can carry on and do that to your own satisfaction. You can do a few or a lot. It's up to you. Okay, you're the creator. Oh, a wee bit more shading up here, middle tone inside the ear there. Excellent. Well, as I said, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you can join me again for another tutorial. But in the meantime, of course, all the best and happy drawing.